Have you ever noticed someone slowly disappear, not physically, but emotionally, until one day they just stop talking to everyone? Sometimes it doesn't happen suddenly. It's quiet, almost invisible. They still show up. They still reply, but something feels different. Shorter messages, delayed responses, less laughter. And then one day, there's just silence. No explanation, no goodbye, just distance. You might have experienced this yourself, sitting alone, scrolling through your phone, looking at old conversations that once felt alive, wondering what changed, wondering if you did something wrong. Or maybe you are that person now, the one who stopped replying, the one who slowly pulled away from everyone without saying why. Late at night, when everything is quiet, your mind starts replaying things, conversations, moments, words you wish you said differently, or things you wish never happened at all. And somewhere in between all those thoughts, there's a feeling you can't fully explain, a mix of tiredness, confusion, and emotional weight. Many people don't realize this, but when someone stops talking to everyone, it's rarely about others. It's usually something happening inside them. Sometimes it starts with emotional exhaustion. When a person gives too much of themselves for too long, constantly being there, constantly listening, constantly trying to understand others, they slowly begin to feel drained. And one day, they realize they have nothing left to give, not because they don't care, but because they're empty. Other times, it comes from feeling misunderstood. You try to explain yourself, but people don't really listen. They hear you, but they don't feel you. Over time, you stop trying, because repeating yourself starts to feel pointless. Silence becomes easier than explaining things no one seems to understand. There are also moments when life quietly changes a person. Pain they never talk about, disappointments they keep to themselves, small things that build up over time. And instead of expressing it, they carry it until it becomes too heavy. And when that happens, they don't always reach out. They pull away. Sometimes people stop talking because they're trying to protect themselves, not from others, but from their own emotions. Conversations start to feel overwhelming. Even simple messages feel like effort. It's not laziness, it's emotional fatigue. And then there's overthinking, the constant questioning. Did I say something wrong? Do they actually care? Am I too much? These thoughts don't come once. They repeat again and again, until the easiest way to quiet them is to stop engaging completely. It's strange how silence can feel safer than connection. There are also people who disappear because they are trying to find themselves. When everything feels confusing, when identity feels unclear, when emotions feel tangled, they step back. Not because they don't value others, but because they don't understand themselves yet. And sometimes it's about disappointment. When expectations quietly break over time, when trust fades slowly, not in one big moment, but in small, repeated ones. And instead of confronting it, they choose distance. What makes this harder is that from the outside, it looks like they've changed, like they don't care anymore, like they became cold. But the truth is, most of the time, they feel more than ever. They're just not showing it. There's a moment, usually unnoticed, where a person decides it's easier to be silent than to be misunderstood. Easier to be alone than to feel alone around others. If you've ever been that person, you know how complicated it feels. You don't hate anyone. You don't want to hurt anyone. But at the same time, you don't have the energy to explain what's going on inside you. And if you've ever been on the other side, wondering why someone disappeared, it's easy to take it personally, to think it's about you. But often, it's not. People don't always leave because of others. Sometimes they leave because they're trying to deal with something they don't fully understand themselves. This is the part many people don't talk about. Silence is not always rejection. Sometimes it's survival. There's a quiet kind of struggle that doesn't show on the surface. A person can laugh, reply occasionally, seem normal, but inside, they feel disconnected from others, from themselves. And when that disconnection grows, they slowly step back, not in anger, not in hatred, but in confusion. Understanding this doesn't make the silence easier, but it makes it clearer. It reminds you that not every distance is intentional. Not every quiet moment is meant to hurt someone. Sometimes people just need space to breathe, space to think, space to feel without pressure. And sometimes they don't even realize they're drifting away until they're already far. If you were the one who stopped talking to everyone, it's okay to not have all the answers right now. It's okay to feel lost. You don't have to explain everything immediately. But also remember, isolation can feel safe, but it can also slowly deepen the very feelings you're trying to escape. And if you're waiting for someone who went silent, try to understand before you assume. Not everyone who disappears is trying to leave you behind. Some are just trying to find their way back to themselves. In the end, human emotions are not simple. They're layered, messy, quiet sometimes. And silence isn't always emptiness. Sometimes it's where a person is trying to rebuild themselves, piece by piece, in a world that felt too loud for too long. Because sometimes not talking to anyone isn't about losing connection. It's about searching for it in a place they haven't looked yet, within themselves.